Hi, everybody. This is Lee, and I'm talking about down ballot voting again. I've spoken about the U.S. Congress, how there are special elections, how there are mayoral elections as well in 2017. So the revolution is starting now. It's starting in 2017, not 2018, not 2020. It's starting now. It's starting next week, actually. This video is about special elections at the state houses. So the state legislative bodies that decide many laws that regulate day-to-day living and lifestyle, state by state. There's going to be voting in special elections, specifically Alabama, Connecticut, Delaware, Iowa, Louisiana, Minnesota, Missouri, New Hampshire, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Virginia. So if you are in these states, please visit your Secretary of State's website so you can get the time and the date and the location of your polling place, and then check your registrations to make sure everything's together. And also check on the candidates and learn more about the candidates so you know who you're voting for. Very important. And so Delaware is the first in line. They are going to be voting in a special election in Delaware on February 25th. This is to replace someone, a Democrat, who was promoted to lieutenant governor. And so there's a vacancy. And this vacancy, once it's filled, has the ability to change the balance of that house from one party to another. So many people are watching that race. If you're in Delaware, you should not only be watching, you should be participating and then voting and casting your ballot. And so it's very important to pay attention to the balance of your legislative body. That's in the state. People have stars in their eyes looking at Washington, at the U.S. Congress, the Senate, and the House, and then right in front of them, things are happening all around them at the state level. And so there is definitely voting going on, very crucial voting. And we see this not only in Delaware, which is again voting on February 25th, but there's also, in Virginia, there's an ability to affect the balance of the legislative body in the state of Virginia. And switching from one body to another can actually affect the ability to amend the U.S. Constitution. If there are sufficient states flipped to one political party, the balance of the state houses, those states, if they accumulate enough, have the ability to change and amend the U.S. Constitution, and which affects everyone in the United States. So that's the importance of paying attention to what's going on in your state houses. Right there's one political party, the Republicans, who are stacking up majorities in their state houses, and if they continue, they'll have the ability to amend the U.S. Constitution. What that's going to look like, we don't know. Based on what we've seen so far this year, what do you think? I don't know. And that's the problem. We don't know. And so definitely it's really important to not lose sight of the voting that's taking place at the state level. If you are in one of these states that has a special election, definitely, for the sake of all of us in the United States that might have our Constitution amended, please pay attention and participate in your state special elections for the legislative body. Also in Virginia, there's anti-woman, anti-choice legislation moving through those bodies, and I believe it has been passed in both houses. And this has the ability to criminalize healthcare choices of women. And so that's an issue as well. Terry McAuliffe, who's Democratic governor, has already said that he's going to veto that legislation. And so good for women of Virginia. But Terry McAuliffe is about to be term limited out in November because Virginia is going to be voting again for a governor. And then again for the legislative body. This is a special election that's coming up. And then there's a vote in November for the legislative body. Also in New Jersey and then the governor and then the New Jersey state legislative body too. And so we don't know who's going to replace Terry McAuliffe as governor. We don't know if there's going to be a governor who's willing to veto harmful legislation. So it's a good idea to pay attention to who is occupying the state houses, what the balance is, and what effect that's going to have on the residents of the state that you happen to live in if you're in Virginia. And so lots is happening. A lot of stuff is happening down ballot. These races get overlooked because people don't take them seriously. They say it's small potatoes, and then get real surprised when strange things start to happening. Like, where did this nuclear reactor come from? Oh, the other state legislature said we could have one. So pay attention, please, to what's happening at the state level. So important. And then also, if you are in those races, or someone that's in those races, take a moment to help spread the word. If you're progressive, help assist with the campaign if you're able to in any way possible to make sure everyone actually knows that there is a race happening, that they need every vote. Every vote is crucial, and that everyone's going to be having eyes on that small race in the state house has the ability to affect us all, and our U.S. Constitution. And then I'm also going to mention a side fact, like in Oklahoma, they had school board races. I think there were 13 positions, and then certain of those races were canceled because there was only one candidate. There was no opponent, so they canceled the race, and the opponent was, the one candidate was automatically the winner. And so when we think about the fact that Betsy DeVos is now the Secretary of Education, we probably should be paying attention to our school board. Definitely, every race is important, and even the soil and conservation board races and the water district races. People scoff at that, but then in this day and age of fracking and oil spills and coal waste being legally placed into the water supply, it's not so funny anymore. People at these down ballot positions, the boards, the commissions, the legislative bodies, they have the ability to really wreck your day-to-day living or to enhance it and make it better with your help if you vote the way that's best for your community. Good luck.